What's up, man?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, just maintaining, I'm excited because, we're going to discuss something that I was curious about. I brought it to you last week because there was an Instagram post about unreleased Prince music, in particular, an unreleased Prince album called
Oh
the
yeah.
Black Album, the original Black Album. Um, and it was already printed. They said it was already printed and ready to ship to retailers, and then Prince pulled it himself because he thought it was too dark, which is interesting. But there were quite a few lucky people that were able to get their hands on physical copies of the Black Album,
Yep.
and it seems as though my brother TLA was one of them. So I
Yes,
really want to
sir.
hear that story because I like stories like that where people get first dibs on things and get first original pressings, and I like stories like that. So I really want to get a grasp from you. So you are a Prince connoisseur. You got the Prince logo on your vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We both know Prince is arguably the greatest musician of all time. Played what 12, 13 instruments. You know what I'm saying? He was a genius.
Yeah.
A genius is genius. So I'm excited to talk about this now. Please tell me the story how you got your hands on the Black Album, and what was the Black Album like marketed and promoted? Like, was there a rollout for this album?
Yeah. It was talked about, man, because Prince was at his height. Because you had Purple Rain,
Mhm.
then you had Around the World in a Day. He came with Parade, and then I believe um,
The
Sign of
Sign
the
of the
Times.
Times.
So right around there, this album was made and produced, right? And it was talked about, and it was called the Black Album. And I thought, man, that's a cool name, cool title. All right, Prince is doing this thing. And then I used to go to this place called Underground Records. They got everything shipped to them early from, the studios and stuff like that and production places. So they get promo copies so they can play in the store when you come in, like, oh, what's that playing? That's the new Prince. I want to get it. So those copies went out to certain record stores, and Prince couldn't stop those.
Hmm.
So it was heavily marketed. And this is way before internet and stuff. So you just was in the know. If you was a Prince fan, you find ways, to find out what his new drops were coming out, new albums and everything. I was on top of it, right? And so I knew it was coming. And I didn't go to Tower Records, Sam Goody, the most popular places, a place called Underground Records. And man, they kept secrets from everybody. And they gave me a call. Yo, T, yeah, I got the Black Album. How many copies you got? Man, I got like three. Hold one for me. I'm coming to get it. And this is when Prince had stopped it. So it was like, oh man, what's going on? It wasn't played on the radio. And so when he told me that, my boy, I got in my ride and rushed down there and got that copy. It was a CD, and the CD was clear, clear casing. The album jacket was black. Didn't have his name or nothing on there. Then you open it up, it was all black and it had Prince like it's like a mauve kind of pinkish color, and that was it. No titles and nothing like that, right? On the back it had the titles. And so he pulled it, it didn't get released, but I already had it. And I listened to the whole jam, and he had one slow jam on there called 2R in Love.
Mm.
So the album that he put out instead of that one was the one with Alphabet Street. That
Mm.
album came out instead of the Black Album. And that song, 2R in Love, was also on that album.
Hmm.
So I'm like, man, this man got song. I mean, so that was the biggest thing, that this song was on two different albums. And I had a copy of that Black Album. And I played it to my heart's content. So what I did, I burned a copy of it and the original, closed it back up, put it up in storage, and never touched it again. I kept playing the burn copy in my car and places like that. So I didn't want to get no scratches, no nothing on that CD.
That's
So I got
cool.
it. Yeah, so I got my hands on the blackout, man, and me and my close Prince fanatics, we had parties at each other's houses. We just come over, We'll light some candles, get a little drinky drink, kick our feet up, and just vibe out to Prince. I'm talking homeboys, mostly homegirls. The way I feel about Prince, I don't find a whole lot of dudes that feel the way that I do. It was always females. So they
Mm.
invite me over. It'd be like, come comfortable. Like they come out of their bedrooms in lingerie. I'm like, damn, what is this? Vanity Six? Apollonia Six? What's going on here? But man,
Wow.
they pour some red wine, cheese, and crackers. It was a religion for us to listen to a Prince album. And what we do, we would read all the credits out loud, who produced, who wrote. We know who did everything, but I wasn't sure who was playing this particular guitar. Was it Wendy? Was it Prince? And man, that was a religion to us. And just like I was telling you earlier, when Spike Lee had a brand new movie, I took the day off work to go see that movie. I was at the very first showing that they had for Prince. I was in line for hours to get into the record store, get his new song, new album, and then we would get together with my Prince fanatics. All right, whose house we gonna come over? Cool. I'll bring the wine, you bring the cheese and crackers, and what we wearing. We're wearing purple, we're wearing silk, and we would get pillows, get on the floor, and get in like a circle and just listen to Prince. And we would all like close our eyes, or sometimes we'll put stuff over our faces. We would just vibe out, and no one would say a word the first listening. Then after that, we'd break the album down. Like I said, read all the credits, and just it was basically like a listening orgy. It was beautiful, man. It was it was once in a while you hear somebody moan like, oh man, shit.
It was like
Motherfuckers,
that.
dude, it was Prince in his heyday was powerful, man. It just you wanted to dress like him, you wanted to be like him, you wanted to interview like him. Dude, he was in our substance. And we'd be laying there just vibing. Like I said, some of the women, I would take peeks like, what's going on? Something rubbing their chest. Prince touched people in ways that no artist ever did.
Mm.
I'm telling you from experience, brother. I let out a couple of, oh, doing some listening sessions. Ooh,
Oh,
man, dude, he was the personification of the word sexy. So
right.
he made you feel a way that normally you couldn't feel on your own. Prince brought you out of your comfort zone and gave you a confidence that you never knew you ever had, man. And if you
Mm.
found that connection with somebody of the opposite sex, it was over.
Mm.
It was over like a four-leaf clover, man. And when I got my hands on that Black album, none of my immediate circle had it. It was just me. So I'm like, all right, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna burn a copy because I'm not bringing an original around you motherfuckers. I don't trust you. And we got together at my one of my homegirls' house, and she had a badass pack. She had big ass pillows. She did the mood, like I told her, the candles, the incense. Man, brother, they were fully dressed in makeup and clothing just to have a listening party. It was like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and normally we would take the next day off from work because we was up all night. And like I said, it was religion to us. And some of the best moments of my life, man, Prince is a big part of that.
That's amazing, man. Now, let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the his alter ego Camille?
Hmm.
Because there was another, I think there was another unreleased album from the Camille alter ego. And I think If I Was Your Girlfriend was on there, right?
Yep. A lot of one particular piece of music he put out was that B-sides album along with his best hits part one, part two. Then he had like a B-sides. A lot of those songs on that B-side were from albums that he didn't release or songs from that album he didn't release. Like Just Another Lonely Christmas was supposed to be on Purple Rain, but he didn't put it on there, and songs like that, 17 Days and stuff like that. Um, She's Always in My Hair. If you listen to them, the drum tracks and the instruments, I can tell that came from 1999. I can tell that came from Purple Rain. You can tell. And so
Yep.
he had music, and he always had 12-inch version remixes
Mhm.
of those singles. And you hear that song. What that one song? I was just listening to it the other day. Mountains. The original song is like 3 minutes and 47 seconds, but there's a 12-inch version that's like 7 to 8 minutes. And I'm like, he did that all the time. And if you wasn't a fanatic, you didn't look for it
Mhm.
because a lot of these pieces of music were sold overseas. You couldn't get them in the United States. Like I
Mhm.
have a story about the Gold Experience album. When it first came out, it wasn't in the United States. I couldn't get my hands on it. So I was dating this girl named Buffy. And I think I told you about her. She was mixed. She was half Native American and black. Just one of the most beautiful specimens God ever created. She was absolutely gorgeous. How I met her was at Sunrise Mall.
Mhm.
She was a model for mannequins. Like she'd be in a storefront window like this,
Mhm.
and then she would move once in a while. You're like, wait, 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 wait. You thinking like, did I see that shit? She was so beautiful. She modeled clothes, but stood in a window at a storefront door window at a mall for stores. And she was drop dead gorgeous. She was also the biggest Prince fan. So when we connected, because we liked the way each other looked, we was vibing. She liked brothers with a little bulk on them, bald head, and I was a UPS driver at the time. She liked blue collar. I'm like, damn girl, you look like Apollonia and Vanity mix. Because
Damn.
I didn't know what she was. She goes, I'm Native American. My mom was full blooded. And her dad was one of us, a brother.
Man, you they about to cancel. They about to cancel your. Oh man.
Hey man, I'm a third Indian. I don't give a damn. It's all right. I can do that shit.
There you go, for sure, for sure.
Oh no, I was kidding. But yeah, her mom was full-blooded Indian. Her dad was black, and so physically, the day we met, it was on and crack. And she was so voluptuous and sexy. It just, you thought she was playing a character. No, that's who she was. And she had a tattoo of Prince on her inner thigh. Now, how I sing that all the time is a different story, but it was right next to that meow. Got the big ass, big ass head of Prince. You can go down and look. Prince looking at you like, hey, do I have permission to proceed, Prince? He'd be like, ah, all right, cool. Meow.
Oh man.
But we were dating, and she knew how much I loved Prince, and she knew I was a Dallas Cowboy fan. So one day, she lived downtown in this nice apartment, right? So she got me like a Dallas Cowboy jersey, a Dallas Cowboy sweatshirt. I mean, she always kept her brother fitted with his favorite stuff. Well, the gold experience dropped, and we could not get it in the United States originally. So she spent extra money. This is way before Amazon and all that stuff, internet sales. She got a copy sent over from overseas to her crib, and that was my birthday present. She got me Prince the Gold Experience album, and you know that album had Pussy Control on there. You Must Be the Most Beautiful Girl in the World. I mean, that album had some bangers on that bad boy,
What year
right?
did that come out?
90, what, six,
Oh wow. Okay,
97?
that's Is that what Okay, that's when he was just the logo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that what that's the with the I Hate You on there, right?
I Hate You's from the other album. That's from the one with My Name is Prince and I Am Funky. That's from that album. The
Okay.
Gold Experience had that remix from Oh boy, I'm trying to think. But the biggest single from that album was "The Most Beautiful Girl in the World" and "Pussy Control." Remember, he was like rapping,
Mm.
and the chorus line, "Pussy," and then he go here, yeah, "Ah, Pussy Control." Man, that was a club banger. Prince was
Mm.
rapping. I never heard that before.
Right.
Uh, the slow song on that album was another one. I think it was called, was it "Damn You"? Could have been on that album. "Hush" was on that album because I think originally somebody else sung it, but he remade it, or somebody's remade it after Prince. I think the boy that went crazy on us, that he produced when he was little, who did "Round and Round." What's that boy's name? The
Shock
beautiful
G.
four,
Not
huh?
Shock. Oh, you talking about Tevin Campbell?
Tevin Campbell. I believe he remade that song later, or either it was somebody else. But he had a song called "Hush," which was a slow jam off that Gold Experience album.
Mm.
That was a bad ass album. So she ordered that bad boy overseas, shipped through customs and everything, and that was my birthday present. I'm like, girl, I looked that woman in the face and like, girl, mm, mm, mm,
So this
mm.
is about 95, 96.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it was, yeah, because I was
Mm-hmm.
still at UPS, and yeah, it's right around that time. And me and her, like I said, she loved Prince probably more than I did. Obviously, they had the brother on her inner thigh. I had to look at his ass, but whenever she was naked. But man, we had the best conversations, and we would go out. We would cosplay together, or we would role play. We would go to a club together, but act like we didn't know each other inside the club.
Mm.
So I'd be at the bar ordering a drink. She come up to me, "Hey, handsome. Hey, what's up, beautiful? Are you here with somebody?" "No, I'm by myself." We would sneak off into the men's bathroom. She'll follow me, and I mean, we did some wild things back then. But when you're under that intoxication of Prince, you feel invincible. And I remember they played that night. Well, I think she requested it because she was cool with the DJ. They played "Pussy Control" that night. It felt like he was at a hip hop concert. Everybody, you had people on the tables dancing, ladies pulling up their dresses and skirts. He he empowered women with that song, "P Control." And
Mm.
oh man, good times, good times. Prince
Yeah.
was at his apex.
Yeah. He's a prolific dude. What he had about?
40 albums.
Gee, I'm looking at his discography now. This is insane, man.
You got to remember, in the late 70s, from his first album drop, he had an album every year since the 70s.
Mm-mm.
So you count the calendar year, he had an album. Sometimes he dropped two albums in one year, or maybe an EP, or like, oh, man, this dude was killing us with pleasure.
Man, that was a bad boy, man. That was a bad boy.
As a matter of fact, then when he passed away, I'll never forget where I was. I was at work. I was driving back from out of town, and a friend of mine who's a big Prince fan, my phone went off. I got it, answered it. Hey, we lost another one. I said, "What you mean, lost another one?" First it was Michael, and then it was Prince. And I was like, no, no, we just seen him in concert. When he passed away, March of 2011, we seen him in concert.
Whoa, wow.
Me and my homegirl Renee. Matter of fact, it was the concert called Welcome to America tour, because he was about to drop a brand new album in 2011. And this is the album right here.
Welcome to America. Okay. Wow.
He never released it. This didn't come out till after he passed away. So we're talking about
Wow.
2011. You can pull it up on Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, on Google. He was in Oakland for 3 days. We went to, it was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday show. I think we went to the last show. And at this show, Sheila E. showed up. Larry Graham showed up. Sheila E.'s father showed up. Santana showed up. And he was playing songs I never heard. I'm assuming it was from this album, Welcome to America. Well, a couple of years later, as you know, he passed. He passed in what, 2016, I believe?
Yep, 2016. Yep.
Yes, he passed away in 2016. So 5 years later, we lost him. And that album never dropped. So this is his last studio album. And of course, everything I got from him was physical, you know.
That's right. That's fire.
And and man, I'm connected all throughout my life with Prince. And right before that album dropped, he released this one after, well, I should say his estate did. This is all the songs he wrote for other people that people don't know about.
Oh
So,
wow.
Sex Shooter, Vanity Six, I mean, Apollonia 6, he wrote that. Jungle Love by the Time, Prince wrote that. Manic Monday, that for the Bangles, Prince wrote that. Uh, what else? Makeup, that was for Vanity Six. 100 Miles Per Hour. Then you had You're My Love. Holly Rock, that was Sheila E. He wrote that. Baby, You're a Trip. He wrote that. The Glamorous Life. Prince wrote that. Gigolos Get Lonely Too. By the Time, Prince wrote it.
Wow.
What else was famous? Nothing Compares to You. He wrote that what for Sinead O'Connor, right? Nothing
Wow.
Compares to You. He wrote that.
Genius.
Um, just Dear Michelangelo. That was also Sheila E. Dude, he wrote for everybody, but no one knew it. And before this time, he went under a different alias to write for other people. Prince was a genius, but yeah, I got that. This came out in 2019.
So you are a true Prince connoisseur, man.
Yeah, everything he has is that I have of his is in store. See, when I retired DJing in 2016, I have a crate, a case just of all Prince's music. It's in storage along with my DJ equipment because my speakers are like 4 feet tall. I have concert speakers, my DJ stand, my microphones, and everything. So when I retired, couldn't keep it in the crib. There's too much stuff, or even in the garage. So I got a storage unit, and all of my music is in that storage unit. I have thousands on top of thousands of CDs because my stuff was, I was DJing with CDs at the time. That was the latest thing. And but I have a whole section of this Prince. Just these only two I keep in my crib because these are the two last ones that's been released from his estate. But yeah, man, rare music from Prince, I got it all. And not only that, if there was a single for that song that was extended, I got that too.
Man, it's crazy because you don't like you don't realize how much this dude was a workaholic, man. He was
Dude,
consistent. He kept on putting work out.
he has vaults full of music that's still. You watch any of those tapes about his estate? So he has, they said he has enough music to release each year for the next, was it 20 years? Dude, he has albums that are just sitting there.
Mm-mm-mm.
Like Michael Jackson, towards the end, they got to like piece together some songs. Not Prince. He has songs after songs after songs that you just don't. Dude, he had albums that he was supposed to release and didn't ever release them. He did it with the Black Album. He did it with this one, Welcome to America. Just never released them for whatever reason. If he was felt a certain way, like he did for the Black Album, he felt it was too dark. And if you listen to it, coming off of the heels of Sign of the Times and stuff like that, it was a dark album. It was very dark. And but he did well. I think he did the Batman soundtrack right around that time too. And that was kind of dark. That Batman soundtrack for '89, dude, he was prolific.
That's crazy. And you know what? Like, forgot about the Girl Six soundtrack.
Yep. I never knew him and Spike Lee were that close until Spike Lee talked about him after his passing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Girl Six, I got that day one before the movie came out. And some unreleased tracks on there. And a lot of people remade some of them songs. Alicia Keys remade some of his songs. He also wrote for TLC.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Waterfalls? Didn't he write Waterfalls? I believe that's
Uh,
Prince.
he wrote
Believe
one
it
of
was
those songs on that.
yeah. Um, and he was their biggest fan. He loved TLC. Um, Girl Six got some cuts. The title, Girl Six, man, that song bumps. Got the little phone ringing in the background. Hey, man, Prince. I don't understand how one person can have all of that in him. It's amazing. And you
Man,
mentioned he played 12 instruments. He didn't play them. He mastered them. That's the
right,
difference.
right.
He mastered every
That's
instrument he played.
man, that's a bad boy. That was a
The
bad boy.
baddest, the baddest, man. The baddest. And you know, so one of these years I was supposed to do it 2 years ago, but I didn't. I'm gonna go down to Minneapolis. I'm gonna go visit Paisley Park. I'm gonna go check out his studio. They don't allow cameras inside. You can take pictures of the outside, but I'm gonna go definitely visit Paisley Park and go check it out for the tour.
That's a nice trip. I like that's a nice little personal field trip you could take. You
Yeah,
know,
you can do it by yourself, but you can do it with a group of people. This is a setup where you can go take the Prince trip, go down there. You'll go. They give you a tour of the club where Purple Rain was filmed at. You can see all of that along with the Paisley Park. It's all in the package. So I'm definitely going to do that. That's definitely on my bucket list, you know.
that's dope, man. That's dope. That's
Yeah.
real. All right, Mo. Prince was the man. And, you know, you have a lot of behind the scenes stories. Thank you for sharing, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, that was tight, man. That was tight. Thank you so much, man. Because you know, again, I wish I was a fly on the wall, but you know, I was a baby back then. So just living through your stories, like just you know, experiencing those those moments through you telling the stories is key, man. I love it, man. That's the whole beauty of Q&A with TLA. You know what I'm saying? I get to be a fly on the
Amen.
wall just by visualizing. You know?
Oh yeah. And Buffy, if you see this by chance, sorry, baby, I had to talk about you, but yeah, yeah, we had some great times, and those gifts she gave me, I still have them to this very day. Well, I outgrew that Dallas Cowboy sweatshirt, but I still got that Gold Experience CD that you got me years ago. Still got it to this very day.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
And later on with Buffy, uh, I broke it off later on because I was, you know, I had just had my son like a year and a half prior, and me and her broke up, and I met Buffy afterwards. And I was still going through that thing where I really wasn't to settle down with somebody else because I was still grieving over my son living in another city far away. And Buffy was covered in tattoos. She wouldn't know it because she was a school teacher by day. She wore long sleeves, but she had, at the time we were dating, she had 19 tattoos, and that Prince one was the biggest. Well, her second biggest tattoo was a picture of me after we broke up. She called me over. She goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, She goes, "I just wanted you to come over and see something." I'm like, "Oh, what is it, Buffy?" I went over there. On her shoulder, she had my face tattooed, and
Ooh.
it said the word devil under it. And she gave me a mustache like the devil.
Dang, why'd she do that?
Hey, she
That's
she
crazy.
said
Why'd
she
she do that?
she said she loved me like no other, and she's never. I don't think she's ever been turned down. I was trying to explain to her, look, I'm going through a lot. I got supervised visitations with my son. You know, he don't need to meet nobody else at this time in my life. She's like, "Oh, I'll be a good stepmother." I wasn't trying to hear that at the time, brother. You know, I was going through it, and Buffy was always in my face. She was very, outgoing. I just wasn't ready to tackle that. Like I said, she was always one step ahead of me. Oh, I want to meet your parents and everything. I'm like, and at the time, I'd never dated a girl with that many tattoos. It was kind of a taboo thing, but do you bring that kind of girl home to your mom and dad? You know, what if you wear shorts or a tank top? She couldn't do it around my folks because they'd flip out. And her biggest basketball fan for her was Dennis Rodman. You know how Dennis Rodman looked, so she admired the way he looked, tattoos, and she was covered with them. Were they beautiful? Yeah. And all her friends were tattoo artists. All the men she knew were gay. And in the mid 90s, that's a lot for a brother who's real straight like me to deal with. They come over, be teasing me. I walk past motherfuckers trying to pinch my booty and shit, and they all laugh and giggle. I'm like, hey, mother.
Damn. Yeah,
But
nah.
they all like Prince. They all like Prince. But yeah, man, I got some Buffy introduced me to some wild things, man. Uh yeah, it was scary. Like I would spend the night at her house. I fall asleep on the couch, and she had a coffee table right in front of the couch. I fall asleep. Now, you know how you wake up because you're on the couch, you sleep inside. I wake up. She's sitting on the coffee table like this, staring at me. I wake up to that. I'm like, oh motherfucker, what you do? She, I was just watching you sleep. For how long? Oh, for a while. What do
That's
you want for breakfast? I'm like, well, I run. She goes, no, because she was in walking distance of Safeway, but she didn't have a vehicle. Everything she did was in walking distance. Her job and also her store and stuff. She went anywhere. She took a taxi back then. They didn't have Uber and stuff back then. But when we were dating, I drove. I did all the driving for us. But yeah, like this, man. Went,
that's crazy.
walked to the store. She said, no, don't get up. You don't have to drive. I'll be back. Just lay here, be comfortable. She never wanted me to leave. I had my own place. I had a one bedroom duplex. I had a cool ass spot. You don't have to go home. I can help pay your rent. I said, I'm not staying here. Like I said, man, she loved my black ass dog, but I wasn't ready to commit after being in a relationship with my son's mom years ago. And you know the story behind that. I told you everything about that. So I was still going through it and trying to pick up the pieces and be normal again, man. It takes years to recover from that. And she came into my life at a time where it was cool. Maybe a few years later, a year later, probably could have worked out. I wouldn't have been so judgmental about tattoos and stuff like that. Probably would have seen her for who she really was. She was a great individual, beautiful. I think I showed you a picture of her when she was modeling. She had like the burgundy hair. She had the black so I think I sent you a picture of her. She was standing like next to a brick wall. I said, man, this is Buffy. You were like, oh, yeah, I see why you was busted up. She looked
Mhm.
like somebody that Prince would have dated. That's
Right,
how fine
right,
she was.
right.
Yeah.
She does have that look. She does have that look.
And
Yeah.
she had a younger sister, like a couple of years younger. Yeah, and a little bit extra on the story. One time her mom came over for dinner. Her mom came over for dinner. She invited her
Uh,
mom. So met her mom for the first. I'm thinking, oh, how you doing, Mrs. So and so? That mom was worse than Buffy. Woo! Boy, you is fine.
really?
Buffy, where did you find him? My girl, she goes, oh, I met him at the mall. I was like, her mama was a trip. I get up and walk. Her mama's eyes be, I'm like, God, I don't. Her mom was very hip,
Wow.
but you know, I'm thinking Indians are quiet,
Mhm.
sitting Indian style, No, her mama was hip. Well, obviously she dated brothers. Her husband was
Right,
black, so
right.
dude, she made me feel butt naked, and Buffy was just giggling. Yeah, I'm like, dating Buffy was a lot. It
Hmm.
was, brother, it was a lot. I
I
just,
can
whew.
imagine. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
man. But yeah, Prince, thank you.
Yeah, Prince got you. Prince got you a long way.
Well, another thing that I did, you figure from the late 70s up until the 2000s, up until like 99, every Prince album that I had, this is when CDs were popular, I took every slow jam from every single Prince album was making slow jam albums. I had 6 CDs in 1999 full of Prince slow jams. That's how many slow jams he had from albums that I made full blown CDs that had 12, at least 17 tracks on each one 6. That's how prolific that man. That's just a slow jam. So, when I was single back in them days, and I invited a young lady over to my one-bedroom duplex, I hit play on the CD player. I had the remote control, so I'd be like on the couch and be like, boop. Don't you
Just like
know,
that, huh?
man, even if a woman wasn't familiar with Prince, she's like, dude, you fucked me up. Prince, like what Luther did for a lot of brothers, Prince did for me.
Mm,
He always got you to the finish line every single time.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Boy, and I still got them CDs, man. They're in stores too. Classics. Classics. Yeah. It was over. She was not going home that night. You're leaving at AM. I'm about to put it on you.
Yeah, I hear that. Man, Prince set the mood for all types of things, man. I can
Brother,
imagine, man. I can imagine.
man. Yes, indeed.
But yeah, man. Well, my brother, thank you for bringing me down your own memory lane as it pertains to Prince and his memory making and his unreleased music. I appreciate this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm catching a snapshot from the memoirs of an OG. You know what I'm saying? So, which is what this show is all about. And
Yep.
we're sharing our experiences, um, by way of different mixed media, and we're going to continue to do so. And this episode is no different, man. We want to give a shout out to the prolific Prince, the memory of the prolific Prince, and pay homage to the legend, arguably the greatest musician in modern history. You know,
Sure. For sure.
so
Yeah, man.
yeah.
This is a fun conversation, man. You brought me back to a lot of fun times in my life.
Oh yes, oh yes. I could tell. I could tell, man. I could tell.
Look, brother turning burgundy over here.
But yeah, man, you want to take us out with your closing words?
Hey, man, thank you for watching. Me and my man Cy, we appreciate y'all going on this journey with us, going through these stories about music, directors, movies. This is what we live for, and this is what we talk about off camera every other day when we're on the phone with each other. Now we're sharing it with you. Until next time, be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and more importantly, leave your comments down low. We out. Peace. You know the routine. This time, fade to white.